Hey y'all, Board Game Rancher. We'll find everything solo tabletop gaming and more. And today I've got Bullet, Blueheart Bullet. I think there's other expansions coming out with like different color thing. Anyway, this is the base game. Show you a little bit what it's all about, and then tell you what I think about it on the other side. So Bullet Blueheart here is a shoot 'em up puzzle action, and ultimately, there's 8 characters you can play as, and you can play as the character, or you can play against the character. If you flip them over, they've got their boss, their mean boss side there that you'd have to battle, and then instead of the player character portion of their board, you flip it over, and there's the boss side to each character. So you can play as or against any of the 8 characters, and they've all got their own little decks of cards there, and I have picked this one to play as, and I will be playing against this boss right here. And very generally, the bullets come raining down on this little pattern area, and any bullets that get through are going to hit me, take out my life. That could end the game. And any bullets that I can match up and create these patterns, I'll be able to remove some bullets, and those bullets that I remove from my board there are going to count as hits against the boss. And if I get here, it says, 5, 10, 15, 20, based on the players. For every 5 hits I get on the boss, I'm going to be able to remove a shield. And if I can remove all of the boss's shield, I win. Of course, if at any time I lose all my health, and this particular character only has 2 health. Most of them have, I think, 4. And oh my gosh, this is actually this is a very potent. This is a bad combination here. This would be a very tough game. So anyway, but the game's quick, because ultimately what you do is you'll be pulling bullets blindly out of a bag here. You start out with 10, and you basically pull them out one at a time, and they're very rules for placement, very easy. You just count the number of empty spaces down, and the numbers can range 1 to 4. So this is pink, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This would go there. And anytime I could stop, but and then I could take some actions, but I'll just keep drawing 1, 2, 3. This would go there, and a 1, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just kind of you only count the empty spaces, and so as I keep drawing here, and I know that there's 10. I want to make sure, though, that 1, 2, 3, that I don't get in trouble and have any of these end up down on this bottom row where they'll scooch over and count as a hit against me. That would be bad. So drawing, so 1, 2. So at any time, I can stop, and I can use my little action board here. I've got 7 action points, and I can use, 1 action or 2 action or 5 action or 1 action point to do any of these little powers here. I actually got a power here to clear a bullet from my life. I only got 2 life, so that's a good. Most of the characters don't have that ability. But anyway, moving a bullet left, right, or down, and why I might want to do that, for instance, is to try to match up these patterns. So if I want to create a blowout, I'd need to have, and there's a little pattern reference here, but I'd need to have any 3 bullets lined up on top, and then I'd be able to remove the 3 bullets below it. So these kind of references. So if there was a bullet here, here, and here, I'd be able to remove a bullet here, here, and here. You just kind of look at the pattern and match it up. This double header means if I had a bullet on the left, had no bullets on the left, no bullets on the right, I'd be able to remove 3 from the center. So no bullet here, no bullet here, I'd be able to remove 3 from the center. Well, this, of course, would be the better move, probably. And so anyway, you're going to be looking to match up patterns, because any bullets you remove here are going to hit the boss and take away life there. And so drawing more. Okay, this is getting a little scary now. 1. If I draw another 4, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4. This would end up hurting me. So hopefully there's not. What are the chances? Oh my gosh. Okay, so so that's only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I have 9, so I got 1 more left. If it's a pink one, I'm in trouble. So maybe I should stop and see about clearing off some of these guys. And like I said, what I could do is, well, it'd be nice to clear out these guys, wouldn't it? A 3. So this is pretty tricky. You can have any bullet, but I'd have a bullet with a 3 on it to be able to remove the top 3. I'd love to be able to get a 3 right here, right? So I could remove these 1s. But that, I mean, I could do it. So what you could do, for instance, is I could go, so one action, move a bullet left, right, or down one space. So I'll move this one left. And I'll take another one to move this down, take another one to move this down, and take another one to move this over. So there we go. Boom, I've created this ultimate grand slam pattern. I've got a 3 and then any bullet, and it allows me to remove these 3 bullets. These 3 bullets are going to count as hits, 3 of the 5 that I need to do 1 damage. But ultimate grand slam has been taken care of. And now I feel a little bit better about drawing more bullets, and I will do so. So here's a yellow 2. Okay, it wasn't a pink one. So anyway, then I can continue to use action points until I run out, trying to match up patterns, which removed bullets are going to hit the boss. Then it's the boss's turn. So now then another thing you got to look at here is each boss has its own boss patterns. And if you end up not creating the pattern there, you suffer its consequences. It says flip all red bullets in your sight face down. So now, because I didn't create this pattern here of red bullets in kind of that L shape, I have to flip this face down. And so now this becomes a little problematic, because face down bullets in this is called my sight, have no color number or star. So basically I can only use this as a bullet that I could remove. I couldn't use it as a 3 or any color. You know, it's not a wild, it's just a dud bullet that I need to remove. So anywho, after you've done that, you see if you've hit enough times. I've only got 3 bullets here. I'd need 5, so I'm not going to be able to knock off a shield. And then you'd activate anything. Sometimes you remove shields and you have to activate stuff there that tells you that face down bullets hit you. That is a bad, you know, this is a bad combination. This would be a tough game, like I said. Anyway, so but after you've done that, then you're going to flip over a new pattern for the boss that you can aim for on your board there to try to negate this negative effect. And over here, I'd get to draw back up to 3 patterns, and I'd get all my action points. And now the bag that I was pulling out of that I started with 10 at the beginning of the game, now this particular boss is telling me I need to add 12 more bullets randomly out of this bag, put them in this bag, and start drawing them and play the next round, just like I did this round, until either I win or I lose. And that's about it in a nutshell. Bullet, Blue Heart. So, did this one win me over? Well, I'm much more of a heavier gamer, kind of. That's my wheelhouse. This is a very light game. But let's get to whether it won me over or not. Setup and Teardown is going to win anybody over on this one. You just basically, a couple minutes, you can randomly just pick one of the 8 to play and one of the 7 left to fight. And yeah, just a couple minutes, literally, to set this thing up. Doesn't take much table space either. I mean, you could set it out kind of lengthwise. You can set it up in a variety of little ways, so it's very adjustable, but it'll just take up, a fraction of your coffee table space, maybe a third of it, perhaps. And Teardown is a breeze as well. Even switching between games is, seconds, literally. If you just want to try the same, whoever you're playing against, the boss that you're playing, you just want to go again because you just got blown out, it's seconds. You can just you just grab all the chits, you throw them in a bag, you pull out 10, and you go again, and it's 30 seconds, less than a minute. So you can get going and going again and again and again with this game very easily. The length of play, it can vary. I mean, you can lose in the first round, and I wouldn't say, have I lost in the first round? I lost in the second round before, not many times, a couple times. And so, 5 minutes, you can be over a game. But if you go through all the way to the end and you're taking out a boss and 15, 20 minutes. And so very short gameplay, even at the full length, if you manage to win. The components, the value for the components, I think I paid like $40 for this game, and it was I guess it was on par for what I guess I'm kind of expecting more and more these days. So, games, the cost of games tends to just eking up a little bit. But this had, a good little set of cards. It had some nice some chits there. It has the boards that are fairly flimsy boards. It's not a lot of really heavy cardboard here, but not bad, I would say. You know, maybe the value for what it paid was component-wise a little just under par maybe, but it was fine just because of the sheer, well, I'll get to it, but just this fact that you got 8 different characters, so you got what, 8 times 8 different combinations of you know, who you can be and who you can fight as a boss. So anyway, thematically, it's got you know, maybe a Matrixy vibe to it. You're supposed to, you know, dodging bullets. I don't know what exactly you would call it, but it's you know, according to the story and stuff, you've got sort of the heroines are have these superish powers, and you got bullets flying, and as you dodge those bullets, somehow you divert them to hit the boss. So anyway, I don't know. Thematically, it's basically a puzzle game, and you can paint whatever theme you want on there, I suppose. The game looks good, so there's that. Rulebook. The rulebook was I felt like, I don't know, for a fairly really a straightforward game. Not a fairly straightforward. This is a straightforward game. The rulebook was a little intimidating, and looking at it, going through it, it's kind of like, you know, a little. I was expecting a very straightforward game. The rulebook, I think, could have been done a lot more succinctly, and the solo rules too, which involved there's a couple ways you could play solo. You could actually play it kind of a, how many rounds can you last? I never tried that. I played the game a little over, well, yeah, definitely over 10 times. I played it multiplayer first, free for all, competitively, but you can also play it cooperatively against a boss. I did that 2 times, and it worked pretty well. But I only did it 2 times, so I can't really give you a good opinion on that. And then the rest I played solo against this boss. But there's 2 ways you can play solo. And actually, you could play 3 ways. You could probably play the cooperative way and just handle, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 characters if you want, and we'll go after the boss and play all those characters. But I don't know why you would really. But maybe to use some of the extra chits. That was one of the things, is when you play solo, there's a lot of stuff you don't get to use. There's these little powers that are incorporated in the other modes that you don't get to use when you're just playing solo, and I never really liked that, but that was the case here. But still, there was enough variety just with the different characters and who you're going against that it was fun. It was fun. It's always disconcerting to open up that box and you pull out all this stuff and there's so much left in there, and you just don't get to use. So, but what was I talking about? The rulebook. So yeah, and you get to the solo part of the rulebook, and it was a bit of a, I don't know, it just was explained in a more complicated fashion. It could have been so much more straightforward, I think. So don't let the rulebook intimidate you. This is a very straightforward game. And yeah, there was just like, you know, skip this step during this phase and skip this step. But really, you skip more steps than that. And it was just, anyway, I didn't really care for the rulebook all that much. But yeah, you get through it. Once you know how to play the game, it's going to be hard to forget how to play the game. It's not a difficult game to grasp. The mechanics, yes, the mechanics are I mean, they're really good. I like the way games do this when they have that real easy rule set, but then it leaves it to you how puzzly you want to get, because that's what it is. It's a puzzle. You're trying to get these bullets in the right spots to match up the pattern so that you can take them off your board and hit the boss. And all the while too, there's a big press your luck thing going on while you're pulling these chits out. And so you can get real thinky with this game if you want, or you don't have to. You can just go the press your luck, you know, variety. And so the player can kind of determine the pace and how heavy they want the game experience to be. Because yeah, you could really sit there and get your thinker thinking and take a long time playing this game. Or you can just bust through it, probably lose more often than not. But when the reset takes seconds, why not? Why not just have some fun, bust through it, and play it again, and play it again? So, yes, I very much enjoy mechanics when games, when they do that, when they give you an easy rule set, and then they let the player decide how heavy in a way they want to make that game. And this game does it very wonderfully. Another game that does it, one of my favorite games, simple games of all time, Agropolis. So, but moving on. So, strategy. From a strategy point, there's definitely, I feel like I've lost a couple of games and thought, you know, I probably shouldn't have pushed my luck there at that last one, and it was pretty obvious. You know, look back and I was like, oh man, I should have used that pattern. But so there's some fun strategic stuff here, but there's also a lot of luck. Because you don't, I mean, sometimes you just pull out all the chits out of that bag and you got bullets coming, but they just fit real nicely in the slots. And other times you got like one bad column. It's like no more greens. And that's like all you friggin' draw. So it's just, but again, what mitigates the luck for me is the how fast you can reset the game. So it's always games where there's a lot of luck. And then, but if you want to play from one game to the next, there's a huge or a long reset. Those are a big turnoff for me, but that's mitigated when maybe there's a lot of luck, but you can just, you know, I'll just try it again and you reset it in seconds. So from a solo perspective, did I like this game? Absolutely. Absolutely like this game. And I actually played it quite a bit and put it away for a few weeks. And I was kind of even gauging, I was like, did I even really miss that game? But then I wanted to do a review on it because I was like, I did keep thinking about it. So I busted it out again, and immediately it's quite addictive. And so yes, this game does have, even though it's on the lighter side, it does have a lot of the stuff that I enjoy about a light game, that it allows me to determine how weighty I want it to feel. And sometimes, yeah, I want to really dig in. Now, that was, I guess, something I haven't brought up. This is probably the biggest downer about the game is the bosses do not have a level. You have no clue what you're going to go up against, especially in the early times. I can see this game, you know, someone getting it, someone busting out, just randomly picking someone to play, randomly picking a boss to play, and just getting annihilated. Or conversely, having such an easy gameplay that you're just like, that's it. So I could see someone getting very turned off on this game on either of those. You know, or just, like I said, just getting, like the setup that I had is extremely difficult because the person I was playing can only take 2 hits, and it's very easy to get 2 hits on you when playing the boss that I was playing. It was just the way that combo pulled out. I just kind of randomly did that, and extremely tough. But you wouldn't know that when you're first playing, that's just the way, you know, that boss against that particular hero was going to play like that. And so you could just you're like, gosh, that is blisteringly difficult. So there's definitely different difficulties, but there's no way that the game measures it. It doesn't tell you this boss is harder than this boss, which is harder than this boss at all. Or especially like this boss against this hero, ooh, watch out. Or this one against this one is so flippin' easy, don't even try that, it's boring. There's nothing like that. So the heroes themselves have kind of a star or a heart, the heart being the easiest hero to play and a star being a harder hero to play, but nothing like that for the bosses. So that I think was a big miss. You can go on BGG and there are some things there that'll help you determine what bosses are a little harder than others, but that I sure wish they'd incorporated some sort of system along those lines. All that said, even with just 8 characters, there's a massive amount of replayability here too, because you're going to lose a lot sometimes. You'll get a lot. You can get a lot of games in with this, and so the value along those lines is high, I believe. And they're coming out with more expansions, probably more characters. I don't know. I'm definitely interested in those, and I'll be waiting for those. But that is Bullet. Bullet Blue Heart. And it's a weird name too. I wish they there's just a lot of little knick-knacky things here that kind of bothered me about the game, but the fun level of the game kind of made all that inconsequential. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Please let me know if you have any comments, questions down below. If this was helpful, please hit that little like button, because that does help the channel a lot to kind of get the word around and more subscribers for me and the channel. So, and it's free to do, so I would appreciate it if it helped you. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Until next time, I'm Board Game Rants, and I'm out.